Hi, I'm Pierce of Sometimes Always, and this year we're presenting a series of interviews for the Doldrums 2017 Music Festival. Today we have the band Destroy Clocks with us. Great to have you guys here.
Thanks very much.
Kevin, Nicole, and Tyler. My first question is, I know there's been some lineup changes over the years, and I just wanted to get an idea of how this band came together and how you came to your current lineup.
Well, Tyler and I actually played in bands together about 10, 15 years ago in high school.
Back in high school, yeah.
And we parted ways with our old drummer in the summer, fall, winter. Sometime last year.
About a year and a half ago.
Sure.
Nicole and I did a couple, little pet projects on the side, and then Tyler actually messaged us saying he wanted to join the band, so we invited him on board, and I knew Tyler was an amazing drummer, so it was a very welcome change to have him with us.
Okay, cool. Great.
I heard the album Reanimalize that they put out, and I was like, I'm in. So I messaged him, and they gracefully accepted me.
Great. Awesome. That's great. I guess this might have changed with a new addition, with a new member, but thus far in your band's career, what would be your sort of favorite memory, if you could put into like one moment that you've enjoyed the most as a band? What would it be, and why?
I had a really good time recording these last two tracks with Topon. It was just probably the first recording session we've done that was really like fulfilling, and sort of the vision came together exactly sort of the way we wanted it. So that was probably my favorite part of the band so far.
I would actually completely agree with that. All of our other recording endeavors to date had been live off the floor recordings, which are never quite that great.
Right. Sure.
Never quite what you're envisioning.
Right.
And then with Topon, we were able to just take it to, I think, a level of quality that surpassed any of our expectations. And it's just so much fun. Just so much fun being in the studio with your band.
And sort of related to that, afterwards we all got together and had a sort of listening party, and we're all just sitting there, and Kevin's huge dog came and cuddled up with me, and we were just listening to the tracks and sort of blown away by how awesome he made us sound, and it was really good.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing some more of those. Now, with respect to Doldrums in particular, I just wanted to ask you guys, you mentioned off camera that you had played it before. For this year's edition, what are you guys most excited for? What are you looking forward to most about the show or the weekend itself?
I've kind of got a weird, I've never played Club Saw before, which is, I think I've played every venue in Ottawa that's existed in the past 10, 15 years, and yeah, that's sort of a venue I've been to 1,000 times for shows, but I've never actually played there, so I'm really stoked to sort of cross that off the list of local places I haven't played.
I'm definitely looking forward to just the choice of bands that are on the lineup, and I think that in the past we've struggled to fit the bill in a lot of ways. And I know that this is still an eclectic bill, but it does have those underlining tones of sort of dreamy, ambient, sort of synth-heavy elements in a lot of the bands that are on the bill this time around. And so I'm kind of excited to just be like different types of dreamy and different types of weird on the bill. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun for me because I hadn't been on stage in something like 8 years before our previous show, so it's going to be really fun to go back to Club Saw, where I played so many shows in punk bands like back in the day, and just play with such a great lineup.
I was just looking back before the interview, and the last time we spoke with Destroy Clocks was June 2015. You guys had just played a show, I think, with No Joy. And I know you guys just played with No Joy again, so it's sort of come full circle in that sense. And I wanted to ask you guys how the show went, and just in general how that evening was. I guess it was at Prest.
Yeah, it was amazing. Couldn't have asked for anything better. It was Tyler's first show with us. And
first show.
Our first show was like Destroy Clocks 2.0, right?
Yeah.
And No Joy, we played with them last time. They're sort of one of the few touring bands that comes to Ottawa that really fit with us, that we work well with. So it was nice to get back on the bill with them, and like their new stuff is just so good and killer. And Press was packed. It was Gary from They Grieve doing sound, so he made us sound great. That room always sounds fantastic, and it was awesome. Everything went off.
Sold out crowd.
Yeah, sold out. And
good energy with the audience, and I feel like No Joy's sound was just amazing. Like the quality of No Joy's set was just incredible.
Sure.
And they were nice too, like short sets. Like we sort of went and played, our like 30 minutes, and then there was 5-minute switch over. Then they played for like 40 minutes, and then it was done. It was just a nice
Yeah.
short, concise.
Right. Cool.
Yep.
Well, I sort of wanted to touch a bit more on your live show. I read recently a review. I think it might have been this No Joy show, where the words they used were vicious, and devastating, and loud. I just wanted to know from a performer standpoint what you guys are hoping to leave the audience with in terms of what kind of emotions you want them to feel, or just what you want to leave with them after the show's over.
I mean, I very much appreciate those 3 words.
I think we messaged each other about the same time about that. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
like,
did you see this?
It's a
awesome.
1-sentence review, but they said 3 great words, so that's fine. But no, it was. I think it was very well received because we sort of border that line versus a very beautiful, serene music, then also just really intense, abrasive stuff. So the fact that that's coming across a lot more in the live sound is, the dynamic of it is really important to me. So that was nice to hear. And I mean, the sound man told us to turn up. So, like, I won't actually take the when a sound man tells me to turn my guitar tone up. It's just like, okay, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I think that for us, playing this type of music is quite a cathartic release. And if the audience is going to enjoy it in any way, I think it would just be in that manner of just let's listen to some super heavy, loud, aggressive, but beautiful at the same time kind of music and just get really into it. And,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's awesome. That's awesome. I understand that before the show, you guys released a couple singles on Bandcamp, and that there was sort of a unique release set up around them involving artwork paired with download codes that might eventually assemble in something bigger at the end of it. With respect to the artwork, I guess the fellow you've worked with so far is Ben Brush, is that right?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's done pretty much all the artwork for us so far.
How do you guys connect?
I met Ben. I'm from Nova Scotia, and Ben's somebody I met when I was living in Truro, Nova Scotia, going to agriculture college. He currently lives in a tiny home in the sticks with his partner, and he's a freelance graphic designer now. But back in the day, he was just a guy who did a lot of graffiti on trains, to be honest.
Cool.
And I was playing in a folk punk band like way back then, and we were releasing a cassette tape, and I just thought, hey, why don't we hire Ben to just do some artwork? And we paid him $50, and I think that may have been his first ever paid commission piece, because he was just doing a lot of graffiti at the time.
Okay.
And yeah, now he's quite a professional graphic designer. So we said we wanted it to look like a comic book strip, just like a panel of a comic book. And if he wanted the characters to have speech bubbles, we just provided the lyrics to the songs, and he just chose lyrics from those, and he did with each one. But yeah, for Tin Man, we just said some sort of Tin Man-esque creature, and he just took it in his own direction with this like hipster robot in a disheveled apartment. And then Highway Eyes, we just wanted someone super tired at the wheel after just not quite gonna make it through this long commute.
Right.
And yeah, he just really delivered on that. So.
And when he gave them back to us, they were pretty much perfect. Like we had a few really small changes that we wanted made, and like the turnaround was great. And in
they
the
look
end,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I sort of as I near the end of my questions, one of my questions is going to be about you guys released a couple EPs in 2014, 2015. You have these singles coming out. I've noticed a bit of a change in terms of sound. I know you guys have always been hard to pin down, but it seems like it's taken a bit more of a loud, kind of heavier approach. I was wondering if that's happened naturally. I know Tyler's got a punk metal background. Has that happened naturally, or is it more of a conscious?
It was a conscious decision at that point. And I think that when Kevin and I and the previous drummer got together, we just met. We were sort of genre hopping around. We liked a lot of influences and everything. So we were experimenting a lot, and then I think towards the end of that relationship with that drummer, we were starting to focus in on a heavier sound, and then once we parted ways with him, it just made sense to introduce a technically advanced metal drummer into the mix, because then we'd finally be able to achieve that sound we were sort of striving for the whole time but not quite able to achieve back then. So now we're really trying to focus in on a certain type of dreamy post-metal genre instead of floating around like we had been doing for so long.
It was a pretty natural like sort of evolution to it. You know, when we first started, not having a bass player, and like it was sort of a Doors vibe we were almost going for. Nicole was doing lots of bass lines on the synth, and we sort of had that. And then as we sort of added the dreamy shoegaze element, things just naturally got, you know, a lot heavier guitar-wise, because not having the bass, I'm trying to fill in the low end, she's trying to fill in the low end.
Yeah.
And then when Tyler came and he's got the double kick pedals just to really fill in the low end,
Right.
it just sort of, you know, progressed with the three of us to have that sound a lot more, but it's definitely something we were going for a bit more, you know, progressive, heavier edge to it.
That was part of the appeal for me joining the band, where there's only 2 members and there's like so much space in the low end that I thought try and make as much noise as possible. So when I first started learning the songs, I was like, I should be hitting 3 things at the same time.
Always.
Minimum. And so like, yeah, that was kind of the mindset I went in, just make as much noise as possible. And the new stuff that they were writing at the time just really lended itself to that, and it's been really fun.
Well, I know I'm really excited to hear the new stuff. My last question will be this: is what is up next post Doldrums in 2017 for Destroy Clocks? Is there anything you want to leave with our viewers?
Well, we're going to definitely hit the studio with Taupe on again and do a few more songs. We've got a couple ones that are, you know, getting pretty close to being studio ready, and we're also currently looking at hitting an East Coast tour this spring. So we're just sort of in the booking phase of that right now, but probably first couple weeks of May we're looking at driving out to the East Coast and going there and back. So that's pretty much short-term plan, what we have, do that, then hit the studio again. And
Right on. Well, it sounds great. Thanks so much, guys, for coming here today. You can check out Destroy Clocks at the Doldrums 2017 Music Festival. Thanks a lot for watching.